Can we roll higher than a 10? Come on. 18. Let's go. Insanely memey. But there we go. Ancient Copper Dragon into Revel in Riches combo. Demonstrated perfectly. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. For today's Mythic video, we're going to be playing Dragons with the focus of trying to win with one of two cards. The first being Revel in Riches, this insane 5-mana black enchantment that reads at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 10 or more treasures, you win the game. Pretty good. We're going to be comboing that with Ancient Copper Dragon, this 6-mana 6/5, which reads, when it deals combat damage to an opponent, you roll a d20 and you create a number of treasures equal to the number that you roll. So statistically, you have at least a 50-50 chance of rolling 10 or higher, which if you have Revel in Riches downs, means you just win next turn. If not, we always can combo this with Inferno of the Star Mounts, the 6-mana 6/6 flying haste, can't be countered, all of the keywords that I like to see. But it has the, for 1 red, it gets +1/+0, and if you can actually pump 14 mana into it, you can deal 20 damage to any target, as well as attacking on top. So these are the three main combo pieces. Ancient Copper Dragon to make all of the treasures, either win with Revel in Riches, or with being able to beef up Inferno with the Star Mounts, or if not, just playing any of the other assortments of dragons that we do have in here. We run 4 Baleful Masteries for removal. We have the 3 Fearsome Whelp just to try to reduce the cost, and the rest is a bit of mana ramp, a bit of draw and discard or extra damage if need be. 2 Rivaz of the Claw. There probably should be a third in here. It is a legendary creature, but I just don't really have an infinite amount of wild cards, so you just have to bear with me with only having 2 in here. But as always, the deck list and chapters are going to be in the video description. If you do enjoy, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new, and without further ado, let's get straight into these games. We are going first with a hand that you might be saying, why am I keeping it? And you might be right, but I mean, fast mana ramp into giving everything haste. I'm just hoping that we can draw through to some big spicy dragons and get this going. Case in point, dragon number 1 being drawn. If we need this for black or for red, not for black. If the game can be nice to us and start just pretty much almost only giving us dragons, I would not mind. Rest in peace. Cool card, though there is... Oh, thank you, game. You're listening to me. I appreciate it. This is 6. This is 3, 4... We drop this down, and then we get a land. Next turn, we can Ancient Copper Dragon, give it haste, smack him in, and maybe actually get the combo off again. I know it's been shown in a previous game. Can we actually do it? Okay, so Ancient Copper Dragon comes down. We have a 50-50 chance of rolling 10 or higher. If we roll a really high amount... Okay, so the thing is, I can't Revel in Riches... Now, if we'd have rolled 15, I could have played Revel in Riches and then we just win on the upkeep. Though, if we can actually connect with Ancient Copper Dragon again, it would be pretty good, actually. We got the 10 treasures, or just drawing through to Banefire, that's why Banefire is in the deck. He might have Settle a Wreckage. Be okay if he does, or just some spot removal. Settle a Wreckage, not a problem. I'm going to take that opportunity and just grab a land. Very nice, and now we can drop Revel in Riches, and as long as he does not have insta-speed removal, we're going to win on our upkeep with exactly 10 treasures, exactly the amount of treasures needed to win with Revel in Riches. Just don't remove it, please, my friend. Play 9 lives, play your other cards like that, just don't get rid of the Revel in Riches with exactly 10 treasures from the Ancient Copper Dragon. Gorgeous. Lord, it's so janky and it's just so good. Revel in Riches, Ancient Copper Dragon combo for the win. We are going first with decent mana ramp and a little bit of removal, so definitely the Coldsteel Heart is going to come down to tap for black mana. Let's see what our opponent is playing. I am going to guess goblins. It is goblins because he's got the goblin avatar, the goblin sleeves, the goblin pets. Very nice indeed. For him, not necessarily for us if he can start popping off, especially with turn 1 Skirk Prospector. Might have to just Baleful Mastery it. Doesn't really make a difference at this point now that he has 2 of them. So we do at least. So we could drop this down. I think we play it like this, because we can hold open Baleful Mastery if need be, and it just means that next turn we get Terror of the Peaks. And Terror of the Peaks against a Goblin deck is pretty good, because you can just start like shooting down their creatures. One of you guys got 5 mana in total now. Is he just going to God Tier a Muxus next turn? Quite possibly. Though I cannot be having Chieftain, Goblin Chieftain down on the battlefield. A little bit too much damage for my liking. So get that out of the way. I was kind of saving that for the Muxus, but hey ho. It is what it is, I guess. So we can now drop Terror of the Peaks, and the risk play is just smacking in for 5 in case we get Muxus, or we can play it safe. I'm not going to play it safe. Gotta try at least get some of the damage in. I mean, if he's going to Muxus next turn, he's going to Muxus, and all Terror of the Peaks would be doing would just be a chump blocker, really. So he's got the... Oh, there's the Muxus. Oh, but he whiffs. He absolutely whiffs on the Muxus. Ooh, I'm sorry, not sorry. I've been rolled far too many times by Muxus for me to be even slightly upset about that. Get the Ancient Copper Dragon smacking in, and if we can roll the 9, this is the power of the dragons. Ancient Copper Dragon comes down, get to deal 6 damage with Terror of the Peaks, get to play an additional Terror of the Peaks, and take the win from the Goblin deck by just smacking him in the face for 5. GG. Very nice opening hand. If we can draw through to a black mana, we can get Rivaz of the Claw on turn 3, if not Coldsteel Heart. Lot of nice ramp in this hand to go into the Red Dragon and then into the Inferno of the Star Mounts. Love to see it. Playing against a champion of the Flame. Do I just want to kill it? No, I don't think he has the combos that he needs for next turn, hopefully. You know, playing the Giant Hammer that gives it +10/+10 and then Resolute Strike to attach it. I mean, if he does have that, fair play, well played. Though, very nice to draw the Baleful Mastery just as a precaution. Whenever a creature dies, exile it. As long as the card exiled with this card has flying, same. Okay, so whatever it dies, the next creature gets the same abilities that he has. Not a problem with me. So, do I just try to exile it? I think, actually, let's do it this way. Let's try to deal 3 damage to it, because if he has a protection spell for it, it's just going to, he's going to have to use it then. Thankfully he didn't. I mean, whatever he attaches this to next is going to have Trample. Though at least we do have Baleful Mastery as an emergency save right now if he can drop something with haste. Oh, nice. You're playing Mirror Box? Love to see it. We got 3, 4... This would give us 5 for the Red Dragon, but we are going to be taking 2. Or we can get Rivaz of the Claw down, and then next turn Inferno of Star Mounts anyway. And I say I don't want to shock it in, but I'm going to shock it in just to hold open Baleful Mastery. You never know when it's going to be needed. And these are the 2 dragons that just work so well with each other. Ancient Copper Dragon, Inferno of Star Mounts. Make all the treasures you want, pump it into the Inferno. So this has haste, this is true for haste, and I'm just going to exile it immediately. I don't want it getting beefed up and giving everything else haste that you can attach it to. This is a cool card. Deck's built very nicely to revolve around Eater of Virtue. Though that does look like it might have been his turn. Love to see that. So I will... Unfortunately, Ancient Copper Dragon doesn't have haste, and we don't have the Dragon Orb that gives it haste. So it does actually have to stick around for a turn, which I hope it does. Danitha, very nice card to combat with that. First Strike, Vigilance, Lifelink, +2/+0, and Trample. It is a rather big one. Thankfully it doesn't have haste, because we got rid of the... Butcher of, whatchamacallit, Dreadhorde Butcher. So now... Can we actually pull off the combo? This doesn't have flying. The combo that I'm talking about. Can we roll higher than a 10? Come on. 18. Let's go. Okay. So we drop down Revel in Riches now. And we have 18 treasures to play with. But how do we actually want to do this? Because we can trample First Strike. So if we go ahead and use up a couple of our treasures right here. Drop down the Red Dragon, so whenever it gets dealt damage, it at least is going to bounce that back. This does have Trample, so we can go ahead and play even more dragons. Thank you, Ancient Copper Dragon, such a ridiculous card. And now, as long as we survive this turn on our upkeep, Revel in Riches is going to trigger thanks to Ancient Copper Dragon, and we are actually just going to win the game as long as he doesn't have Resolute Strike and he can make this a 19-17. So going to go and double block. Hopefully that is enough if he has Resolute Strike. I'm going to be so sad because we've got the combo off. We rolled in 18, made 18 treasures. Maybe I should have used another treasure so I could have kept that tapped. Though it looks like no combat tricks in play. He's going to gain a bunch of life. That's okay with me. We're going to be able to shoot down quite a bit. And I think exile the top 2 cards of our library. I mean, we have the treasures. At this point, we have the win. It is a little bit of a victory lap. As long as he doesn't get rid of Revel in Riches, that would be insanely memey. But there we go. Ancient Copper Dragon into Revel in Riches combo demonstrated perfectly. Next game. We are going first. I'm going to keep it a little bit of an expensive hand, but we are going first, so hopefully it does play out. Since the last match, I have just added in Banefire into the deck. The 1 red and X deal X damage to any target. If X is 5 or more, the spell can't be countered and the damage can't be prevented. Because I did have the thought, Fragment Reality, sure, not a problem, that if Ancient Copper Dragon hits and you don't have Revel in Riches in play, at least you would have an insane amount of mana to just dump into Banefire and it can't be countered in a sort of a tertiary win con. Looks like we are playing against a proper hardcore nope deck. That is, I suppose, okay. We just have to work through the counter spells. He's holding priority, so he does have something. Maybe it's draw spells, maybe it's bounce spells. Let's see what Atsushi is playing. Just more Fragmented Reality. It's a good card to hit on cheaper cards, but it's basically Chaos Warp to search for creatures if he hits it on anything nice and expensive, like Terror of the Peaks, for example. Memory Deal. Okay, so at least it's hitting the battlefield. That's a plus. I am going to guess, knowing my luck, that he's just going to go pick a board wipe, and I'm just going to get board wiped immediately. Shame that the Orb of Dragonkind got countered, because having haste against a control deck is often key. So, you know, they don't have time to board wipe or anything like that. So at least... Well, okay, so unfortunately we didn't get a land draw, but we did get a card that can't be countered, which is always nice. So we have the setup. He obviously just has counters in hand. Can we bait out a Revel in Riches? Nah, let's try to get something onto the field. Because he probably wouldn't counter Revel in Riches and just counter anything after it. Though again, we have the combo pieces in hand. Ancient Copper Dragon just working gloriously, even if things get countered and shuffled back in by a devious cover-up. It's okay, maybe. Can we play another Goldspan Dragon? Is it possibly going to hit the battlefield, or did you just draw the counter spells? Nope, it's actually going to hit the field at least, so we are going to get the treasure, so we can Inferno of Star Mounts next turn. I'm going to go ahead and just pass priority. This does have haste, so it does work very well for us. I am going to imagine board wipe, possibly, or Teferi, though he has got black mana in here for some reason. Okay, no worries, he's going to Fateful Absence, get rid of the Goldspan. Gives us treasures and clues, not going to crack it. So that I want the Ancient Copper Dragon to live and hit the battlefield so badly. Though it's just not gonna live. I have that feeling it's not gonna live. So let's Inferno Star Mounts. Inferno Star Mounts. So the way you do it would be Ancient Copper Dragon and then manage to hit them and then play this and yada yada yada. You get the picture with it. He is having a look into the multiverse to see what he fancies. Doesn't fancy anything on top. Though I'm 100% sure it's going to be board wipe a clock, I would imagine. This is 3, 4, 5. Unfortunately, we can't beat it up by 1, just because we do need the mana for Ancient Copper Dragon. Though, I mean, he is sitting on 7 life. There's the board wipe. If we could just draw through to another Inferno Star Mounts, would be great. Would be a very great game. What can we do instead? Play the Copper Dragon, just keep pressure up. Unless he just has his third Fateful Absence. Is this Sorin, anyway? Is like Sorin going to like murk someone in a coffin or something? Quite possibly. Sensing a plot, Sorin raced to his grandfather's resting crypt, but someone else had gotten there first. Okay. Ah, yeah. Fateful Absences. Oh, what's the name? Edgar Markov, I think, is his... Oh, there we go. Edgar Markov, the original vampire, I believe. So we can... Atsushi? And see what we can get going. We do actually have some... Maybe we should be cracking these clues. Probably be a wise idea. Maybe there's the Banefire. Can we just take the win with Banefire? Just add it into the deck, and is it already going to be paying itself back in dividends? Okay, so he's going to exile. And so we have 1, 3, 4, 5. We can do it for 5. Just not enough. It's just not enough. Okay. We want to be able to do it for 7, so we need 8 mana. The treasures would have been nice to sort of counter up to it. You got 2 mana you can counter this? Really? You're going to test of talents. Fair enough. You get to look at our hand, right? Yep. Very unfortunate, though we can see the Banefire. It is uncounterable as long as X is 5 or more. So as long as we hit lands, we should be relatively okay. This isn't getting countered, so that's just more mana to add to it. So we need 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If we draw a land, in theory we win. Unless he can somehow gain life, or something I do not quite know. This guy is going through a lot of his deck. I've got to give him props. He's Seagate Restorationing, so no maximum hand size, and you just do like 7 cards or something like that. So 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Oh, it gains haste. Wait, we might actually have him. I completely forgot. The orb gives haste. If this connects, it's totally not going to connect, but if he's going to get rid of it, it's going to cost him 3 life, which opens us up for the Banefire win. No, wait, surely you have Fateful Absence or some form. Yep, Fateful Absence. Third one, this is only to creatures the Planeswalkers. So he's on 4 life now. Let's go ahead and draw this clue. He's on 4 life, there's the land. And next turn, we can Banefire, ideally, for the win. He might just concede, knowing that we have it in hand. Though, Mythic Dragons are going pretty well. If you are enjoying this deck, and you are enjoying the channel, please consider hitting subscribe down below. Honestly, it would help me out a lot. And you get to see more cool, different decks played in Mythic. You know, decks that you probably wouldn't play yourself in Mythic, because sometimes they're a bit janky, but at the end of the day, it's all about just having fun and playing the game, and that's what I enjoy, and I hope you enjoy watching it too. And now let's try to take this Mythic win from Kaito. You know, Banefire, definitely top tier to add in this deck. I did also consider Torment of Hailfire, the double black and then X. Each opponent sacrifices a non-land permanent or discards a card, and for each time they don't, they lose 3 life. So you sort of do that in combination with the million mana that you can get from Ancient Copper Dragon. Works out pretty well. Let's go ahead, smack him in for the 1 damage. And now we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's go ahead, deal the 6. It cannot be countered. Banefire. It looks like a dragon as well. It is. The dragon is the purest expression of life's savage splendor. And we take the win. Good game.
Heartbroken.